Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
This is the Field of 68 After Dark on this Monday night, March the 25th, 2024. We're coming to you on Sirius XM Channel 84, on YouTube, on X, here on the Field of 68. Sweet 16 is set. I'm John Fanta. Matt McCall's here. Randolph Childress is here. And to start our show tonight, we welcome in the head coach of the Creighton Bluejays. This has been one of the best programs in college basketball in the recent years. And in this tournament, 3 Sweet 16 appearances in the last 4 years. The Bluejays will be in action against Tennessee in the Midwest region. This game coming up on Friday night. Mac, thanks for starting the show with us. Congratulations on making it back to the Sweet 16. First and foremost, I know you said this over the weekend, like each team is different, but the feeling never gets old. What's the emotion in your mind coming off of an insane all-time game against Oregon and a win?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the scene in the locker room was incredible. This has been a special group to coach. I've just had a blast coaching this team. And to see it culminate in a game like that, to get back to the Sweet 16 and, against the former coach at Creighton, there's been 2 of us coach here in 30 years, which is pretty incredible. But Dana did a great job with that team. It took everything we had, to win that game. And, really excited for our group and excited for me that I get to coach them one more week at least.
Coach Randolph Childress here. Congratulations. I got to ask you, going back to the Oregon game, because I got mixed emotions on late game situations. Are you a foul down 3, coach? Are you a foul? Are you not? And I got to ask you also about your decision at 4 minutes to go. No, 1 minute to go. You're down 4. You play the possession out, get a stop, go down, get a basket, foul. Obviously, they missed it, and we forced it in overtime. How do you prepare your team? But more importantly, that question I asked her: are you a foul guy? You obviously played that scenario. Was that just at the moment, or how do you play it?
Yeah. Now, if I tell you that, now Rick Barnes knows what I'm going to do too, right?
I think you already answered it. I'm in the studio.
How about we have this conversation after the tournament? But you could go look at some previous games and figure that out on your own. But we decided to play that out, and I trust our defense, and but it takes a little luck in the tournament. Let's be honest. Every team that makes a deep run in the tournament usually has a game where a couple things go right. And Baylor Sharman just made an incredible play in transition, just to go at the rim and make the referee make a decision. Our best chance there was to score some points with the clock stopped, and then we executed the press perfectly, and got Dante to get the catch and got the quick foul, and he made his other 4 free throws on the night. We were just fortunate he missed that one.
Coach, we were talking about this off the air, and you alluded to like how late you guys got back to the hotel. Travel back home. What does this week look like for you, just in terms of getting prepared for Tennessee?
Yeah, Matt, we didn't do anything really today with the guys that played big minutes. We got a few shots up and walked through some things, but I had 3 guys basically play 50 minutes in that game, and you don't get to the hotel till 1:30, but you play in a game like that, and the adrenaline and the excitement. Like, our guys didn't sleep at all that night. Fortunately, we're playing a Friday game, which gives us that extra day, so we'll still get 3 good days of prep work on Tennessee. But I'm frankly a little surprised at some of these start times, especially this coming weekend. I think the game before us is, whatever it is, it's 7:37 or 7:40. There's no way we're tipping off till after 10 o'clock. And, the winner of that game could turn around and have to play in the middle of the afternoon on Sunday after getting back into your hotel room at 1:30 or 2 in the morning. And, in this era of doing right by student athletes, that doesn't fit into the student athlete welfare piece to me very well.
Mac, along those lines, I want to get back to your team and all the great things that they've done. But, I just find it disheartening in a way that we're all waking up again today. And for the last 10 hours, it has been this name is in the portal or this name is getting hired. I'm not saying you can stop coaching hires at all. However, this nonstop cycle of everything else happening during what is supposed to be the most joyous time of the year in the sport, where the focus, in my opinion, should be on the people who have fought their asses off to get to a Sweet 16 and Elite Eight, all that madness, the beauty of the NCAA tournament. How do you feel about the state of things in that regard?
First of all, John, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you Saturday morning I got a text from the greatest quarterback in AFC North history, Ben Roethlisberger, prior to our game. So I knew you'd appreciate that Big Ben reached out after finding out I was a Steeler fan.
Of course you won. Of course you won. In a text like that.
But I don't like the way the dates are, John. I think it's crazy that the transfer portal opens up the day after Selection Sunday. To your point, the news cycle and everything that's going on around college basketball should be celebrating the teams that made the tournament, and and frankly, it puts teams that continue to win that need a couple guys in the transfer portal at a little bit of a disadvantage, because we can't be out on the road meeting with guys. It's really hard to bring someone to an official visit when you're trying to prep for your next game. So I wish they'd adjust the dates a little bit. I'm all for guys being able to leave if they want to leave. I think we're all past complaining about that. But I just wish the dates were a little different. It makes it tough, I think, on all of us.
There's so many things that are going on with the game in itself. With the portal, you got the conference realignments, you got so many things that are going on. Is there something you would like changed or legislated or tweaked a little bit? That's something that's not, we don't need to go to Congress maybe to get done. Is that something you feel about? Like personally, I think of, and I would ask you this with the transfers. One of the things about the portal is I would be okay with freshman year, sophomore year, and graduates, but at least allow, if you transfer as a junior, at least allow that player to be there 2 years, even for them to graduate. I don't know many institutions you can transfer to in 1 year and just graduate.
Yeah, it's very difficult. And, I'm not sure any of that's going to ever happen again. I think we're kind of stuck,
right.
With what we have. I think there are a lot of young people that are, getting sold a bill of goods on it with this NIL stuff, and it's not coming to fruition. So I hope at some point we can come up with a uniform way to protect the student athletes. I'm not sure there's much protection there. I don't know that, the contracts they sign with these NIL folks, these collectives, are worth the paper that they're written on. So there's just a lot of stories of a lot of promises that end up being empty promises. And then kids get into situations that it's, very difficult to get out of, and it wasn't what they were told it was going to be. So I hope at some point we can come with a uniform plan to maybe make what's going on with these collectives a little bit more public. So it's out there for everyone to see, and, that the schools have to follow through with it.
Coach, you have one of the best offenses in the entire country, shifting back to your team here, and obviously had a tremendous amount of success since you've been at Creighton. What's different about this group, just in terms of the balance that you have on the offensive end of the floor, maybe from other teams that you've had at Creighton?
Yeah, we always preach unselfishness, and we attempt to accomplish that in recruiting. I've gotten over trying to recruit selfish people and make them unselfish basketball players. So we go with unselfish people to start with. But I think the leadership on this team is as good as any team I've ever had. Trey Alexander's been terrific. Baylor Shireman, Ryan Kalkbrenner, they've been around in our program. They understand what the expectations are in our program. Then we bring in Stephen Ashworth, who's, is as mature of a 23-year-old as anybody I've ever met. And, he's just really added to our culture, and his leadership has been very important as well. And if you watch that game the other night, we went 1 of 11 to start the game from the 3-point line. We had a lot of really good looks, and nobody gets shook. The expressions on their faces don't change. And even late in that game, there wasn't a lot of panic on their faces. And, that's makes my job pretty easy and makes me look pretty good.
Mac, before we let you go, Ryan Kalkbrenner, I loved him at the podium after the win over Oregon because he just deadpans. He's got this dry sense of humor. Like he comes
Yes,
off
he
as
does.
a sitcom. He comes off as a sitcom character, and he just goes, "I know that was definitely the shot that Mac wanted on that possession. That was our best case." When he hoists that three before that shot, folks, 16 for 52 on the year. The point is, he had taken 52. He was open that moment. This kid, 3-time Big East Defensive Player of the Year. The only other guys that could say that are Patrick Ewing and Alonzo Mourning. What does Ryan Kalkbrenner mean as an all-time Creighton Blue Jay?
I think his jersey will be in the rafters someday. He just broke the Doug scoring record for NCAA tournament points. He's played in more NCAA tournaments games than anybody that's ever worn our uniform. He's won more NCAA tournament games than anybody that's ever worn a Creighton uniform. I told him because I felt against Akron that they're going to be in drop coverage. The big's going to be back. So I actually made him make 100 threes both days prior to us leaving for Pittsburgh because I thought he was going to have an opportunity to shoot him. And he's worked pretty hard at that. And John, if you go back and watch the North Carolina State game in our first round game a year ago, North Carolina State made a great run to start the second half. We were down 7. Kalkbrenner pops to the top, let's go a 3 and hits it. And it just totally changed the momentum of the game. So, he's picked and chosen when to shoot those threes all season long. And, I've never looked at him cross-eyed when he's taken one. But we had some fun with that one. It was almost to the rim before I realized what happened. And then it obviously it went in and he gave me a little wink and went down and blocked another shot.
Well, Mac, it might be late Friday night. We'll all be up for it. I know it's a little bit past your bedtime, but here's one thing we know, Mac. Baylor Shireman, Trey Alexander, on the other side, I know you respect Dalton Connect. That's some high-level college shot making.
It's going to be an incredible game. I mean, Coach Barnes has done an unbelievable job of that program, and defensively, we've seen UConn a couple times. Obviously, they're elite defensively, and I think Tennessee's every bit as good. But Dalton's a terrific player. It's a great story from where he started to where he is now, and how much he's improved. And Ziegler is I think one of the best defensive point guards that I've seen this season. So it'll be a fun game, and our guys will show up and let it rip and see what happens.
Before 2021, Creighton had not been to a Sweet 16 since 1974. That was under a different tournament format. Now 3 and 4 years. This is a golden era of Creighton basketball. And Mac, take that terrible towel with you here as you guys head to Detroit.
I will. Always great to catch up with you guys.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.